Polygon is like that stupid child who burns their hand on the stove and just keeps doing it. They never learn. They never learn. Polygon had to just be bought out by another company or another I just read it not like the other day, but they were bought out. 400 people had to be laid off. But sure, keep doing the same stupid activism propaganda bullshit that's put you into the situation in the first place. Instead of doing, pop culture or game reviews or game actual journalism, these people are doing journalism. And then they wonder why they have to lay off 400 people. Polygon activist desperately tries to hijack GTA 6 to push woke narrative. Activist Maddy Myers desperately attempts to hijack GTA 6, push woke feminist narrative. You might recall how Polygon was recently hit with a wave of layoffs following its acquisition by Valnet, the same company behind Screen Rant and some of those other clickbaity heavy outlets. With the other, while that move signaled a course correction, did it? It is also proof that the rot at Polygon runs pretty damn deep, and clearly so deep that there's more of it festering. Case in point, Maddy Myers, deputy games editor and longtime activist masquerading as a journalist who continues to use her position to push divisive ideology under the guise of criticism. Oh shit, here we go again. An embarrassing, yet, let's be honest, unsurprising display of ideological projection, Polygon's deputy games editor, Maddy Myers, has taken it upon herself to interpret the GTA 6 trailer not as what they are, marketing for a crime-based open-world video game, no, as a feminist manifesto, riddled full with anti-American, anti-policing messaging, or anti-police messaging. In her breakdown of the trailer, of the second trailer, because there was a first one, Myers doesn't just read between the lines, she scribbles all over them, wildly trying to force her own narrative where none exists. Yeah, that's what they do. It's what they do. Again, she's that fucking moron, that kid who just, ow, ow, ow. Ow! She doesn't fucking learn. They don't learn. They just had to be bought out. They had to lay off 400 people for this fucking reason. No one is interested in Polygon anymore because the shit's gone downhill. Polygon, IGN, Kotaku, these were all big names back in the day, and they were trusted sources of gaming news and pop culture. Now it's just politics, one-sided left-wing agenda bullshit. And they wonder why they had to be bought out. But sure, keep being that fucking stupid kid who keeps touching that fucking stove while it's still on. Keep doing the same thing and not learning that this is not what people want. This is not what people are subscribing to your services for this fucking journalism. Keep doing it. It's gotten you so far. It's gotten you so far already, right? Because laying off 400 people, that's fun, right? Fucking pricks. Seriously, these people don't fucking learn, and that's all they care about is their own personal bullshit. As long as they can continue to push their bullshit, they don't fucking care. Constantly dropping the red flags throughout, like capitalizing black but not white, and many such angles to frame and skew the entire narrative that she attempts to run with here. For instance, as Jason drives slowly down a city street, we can see a huge arrest going down in the background, with multiple black suspects being detained and several police cars pulled over at the site. We see a white police officer shoving one of these men. Another officer has a black man pushed up against a brick wall. Will they be able to survive this arrest, or will they make a run for it? Will Goku survive the destruction of planet Namek? Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. Myers claims the background police activity is one scene is proof of Rockstar's systemic racism commentary. She goes on to portray the police as these racist aggressors and positions the entire game as a critique of American law enforcement and gun culture. Yes, because that's what Grand Theft Auto is all about. This is based on, a few blink and you'll miss it shots. Hardly the foundation for one sweeping socio-political claim she's making. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. But hey, don't let the truth get in the way of your activism. Let's be clear, GTA 5 is, or 6. Why did I didn't see the I. GTA 6 is shaping up to be an incredible action-packed sandbox game in the same chaotic spirit Rockstar is known for. It features crime, satire, violence, and exaggerated characters, but in Myers' eyes here, it becomes something else entirely. A vessel to further her long-running ideological agenda under the guise of game journalism. Actual gamers aren't having that anymore. Yeah. Again, Polygon just had to be bought out, and 400 people had to be laid off. Why? Because of stupid fucking punts like this bitch right here. The people who fail to learn. The people who fail to learn that people, individuals are tired of the constant political bullcrap. People aren't going to Polygon for political advice and news. They're doing it for games, for pop culture. People go to Kotaku for pop culture, games, gaming reviews and walkthroughs. You're not going there to like, oh my god, Donald Trump. You're not going there because, oh, this game is clearly a commentary on the socio-political climate of Trump's America. People aren't doing that. They're not going to pay you $15 a month or whatever the fucking fee is for that type of journalism. If they wanted that crap, they'd probably go to CNN or any other of those big name mainstream media outlets. So these people don't fucking learn. An activist in journalist clothing, Maddy Myers isn't new to the playbook. Her resume reads like a tour of progressive propaganda mills, like this, from the Mary Sue to Kotaku. Well, that explains a lot. And now Polygon. Since 2007, she's positioned herself not as a journalist, but as a gatekeeper of what video games should be. Her fixation on injecting identity politics into every piece of media she touches has defined her career. She also co-hosts a podcast called Triple Click that all too often, one could argue, leans into socially charged readings of video game culture and the mutant ages, where she overlays modern progressive politics onto old X-Men media. Her body of work is consistent, take entertainment, and twist it into a lecture about gender, race, and perceived injustice. There's no fun to be found from her perspective. This is all ideology waiting to be pushed in a certain direction. Her awards and recognitions, of course, she has those, but they are all for social issue writing, not actual criticism of the medium. Nor any technical analysis or innovation into game coverage. She doesn't elevate the medium, she moralizes it. Creating meaning where there is none. Now she zeroed in on GTA 6, a game that isn't even close to being out yet. Next year. And declare that Rockstar's trailers have now somehow confirmed that to her that they are moving the game in a new woke direction. According to her, the game's Latina protagonist Lucia isn't just a character. She's a symbol of feminist struggle. Shut the fuck up. She goes as far as to interpret Lucia's quote about bad luck landing her in prison as a sincere, sympathy-grabbing social commentary, not character development or narrative flavor. She sounds like the type of person to be sympathetic to someone who burns a Tesla dealership with this kind of rhetoric. But I digress. She contrasts Lucia with Jason, the male lead, and of course goes on to paint him as less sympathetic, based entirely on a few out of context moments spliced into a 1 minute trailer. She insists we're supposed to root for Lucia and despise Jason, even though the series is built on flawed antiheroes. Yeah, that's what it is. You know, none of these people are truly likable sometimes, but you know, sometimes they just get wrapped up in something or whatever the case is, but they're not villains per se. She doesn't just report, she tells you how you should feel. And based on this article she wrote, I'm convinced she never actually played a GTA game in her life. If she hasn't, I know a place on the edge of the red light district where we can lay low, but my hands are all messed up, so you better drive, brother. From the beginning of GTA 3. Well, now I know how Uriel's getting up there. I got a little kitty cat, a little black kitten right now. They're like a month or so old, and you know, they're about this big. I'm watching them climb up onto the thing outside on the porch. They like to go up there and just kind of sit there. I'm like, how are they getting up there? They're climbing. I just looked down, they were like, the real agenda here. Myers isn't analyzing the trailer at all. She's writing it in her own image. There's no evidence anywhere in the trailer, the second trailer itself, that GTA 6 is a woke game. If anything, Rockstar has been known over the years for satirizing all sides. Satirizing on both sides. Left, right, and everything in between. But Myers sees an opportunity to shape the public's perception early, to lay the groundwork for a narrative that positions Rockstar as finally evolving to a feminist-friendly studio. Again, this is why people are tired of their bullcrap, why they had to lay off 400 fucking people. Because of bitches like her. Again, this article was painful to try to get through. I can see what's happening. It's clear to me what's happening here. She's trying desperately to manufacture cultural significance where none exists. This isn't journalism. It's straight up PR for an ideology. I'd argue that with this place, she's hoping that by crafting a narrative that GTA 6 is a progressive game, one led by a strong Latina woman, wronged by the system and fighting back, it will drown out the game's inevitable chaos, crime, and politically incorrect satire. She wants so hard to reframe it as a story about female empowerment, about social justice, about reforming toxic masculinity. The gaming community has grown wise to the grift. That so for so many years was working so well. These activists masquerading as journalists don't speak for every player ever, or don't speak for players ever. They speak at them. They scold, shame, and inject their politics to you with every pixel and line of code. And when you push back, they play the victim. Sounds like a certain ex Kotaku senior editor. Sometimes they even try to sue you for daring to call their asses out. There we go. And he brought it up. There we go. Yeah, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Maddy Myers is the latest in an insanely long list of self-appointed media watchdogs who care more about narrative control than the actual games themselves. Her takes on GTA 6 is not just laughable, it's disingenuous. She's desperately trying to turn a chaotic, satirical sandbox into a TED Talk. We aren't stupid. We don't need your ideological lens to enjoy or understand a Grand Theft Auto game. Like, these are the same people who back in the like, oh my god, the game is so violent. The game's so violent. You can go around and murder women. And now she's trying to paint it as this paragon of cultural and political. It's like, oh my god, this. It's telling the story of a strong, empowered Latino woman and her fight to the same people who a few years ago, oh my god, the games are so violent. They're so violent. You can just kill. You can have your way with women and then kill them. Also, people were like, you have a tattoo? Yeah. "17 years old when I got it. Close to 40 now." So, um, no one's buying their crap ideology. Yeah, again, these aren't journalists anymore. They're activists. And this is why places like Polygon and Kotaku and IGN and all these other outlets where they're supposed to have journalism, why they have to keep laying people off and all this, because they're not journalists anymore. They're activists. No one wants to hear about the activist crap. We play games to get away from that. Our world already sucks and is riddled with that bullshit. We don't want to jump into a video game and be preached at, or listen to some fucking asshole at Kotaku or Polygon bitching, complaining about, this game is too white. Oh, this game is a great metaphor for this. We don't care. Just shut the fuck up and talk about the game. Talk about the game. But 2025, this is what you get. This is modern journalism. So, what do you expect? What do you expect? Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.